Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple, and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, a.k.a. Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. This is the ISUPK Killeen Sabbath service, and with that, I'm Ijam. Sarwa Hakwadam, which means to turn and face the east. We'll do the prayers. Salaki. La Yashala. This is the Lord's Prayer. In the Hebrew, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'a, Ratazayaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Kawa, Haya, Bashemayim, Nathanlanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawafyanawa, Wala'a, Tabia Ayanawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hai Washainawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalatwa, Waha Allah, Wahata Para, La I Walumium Amun, in the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever, so be it. This is the prayer of the power of the Hakak in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Baba Kosha, Nathan Lanawa, Hakak, Hakak, Larapa'ah, Kal Makala, Wakal Marawa, Hakak, Latahar, Ha Matazarayim, Hakak, Lahaquium, Hamathium, Hakak, Al Rakawa, Hatama Allah, Lagarshan, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Tawada Amun. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. This is the prayer to bless Israel. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Barak Lanawa, Wa Yasha'ala, Waha Bayaf Saparium, Barak, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the Wada Amun. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Israel and the school. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. This is Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Aisha Ayunya, Ahaharium, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Azariah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'aratasa, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shemarka, Hanala'a, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ayakayaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makara'a, Yashamar, Aknapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'atka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'atha, Wa'ad, Awalam. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al-Damayalaka, Al-Thakarash, wa Al-Thashakwat, Al-Kayahana, Awayabika, Yahamayawan, wa Mashanayaka, Shawara'ash al-Imaka, Ya Arayam wa Sawad, wa Ya Atatazawa, Al Tazapawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, wa Nakyadum, Magauya, wa La'a, Yazakar, Shamya Sha'ala, Iwad, Kaya, Na wa Atazawa, Labyakadwa, Alyaka, Baryak, Yakarthwa, Ahawya, Adawam, wa Yashama'alyam, Mawa'aba, wa Hagarium, Gabal, wa Amawan, wa Amalak, Palashath, Am Yeshavya, Tazawar, Gumashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labinya, Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Lahum, Kamadian, Kasaya Sarah, Kayabian, Banakar, Kwayashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayan Da'ira, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayathamwa, Nadamwa, Ka'arab, Wakazaba, Wakazabak, Wakatazamanai, Kar Nasakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Na Yarashai, Lanawa, Naawat, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagargala, Kakwash, La Pinya, Raka, Ka'ash, Tabaya Ira, Wakalahaba, Talahat, Haryam, Khan, Tharadatma, Basa Irika, Wa Basawapafka, Thabalahum, Mala'a, Panyahum, Kwalawan, Wayaba Kwashwa, Shemka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabalwa, Ija'id, Wayakaparwa, Waya Abidwa, Waya Daiwa, Kaya Atha Shemka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Kaharataza. In the English, keep not thy silence, O power, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as unto Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes as Zabah and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power in possession. O my power, make them like the wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm, and fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. This is the prayer of the blessings for the power structure. Barakatah Yahweh, wa Yahweh Shai, wa Mayaka'ala, wa Alahayim, Matazabaya, Alawap Yahana, ha Alawapium, ha Saranyum, ha Quatazayanyum, ha Kayayim, Waha Akwapian, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the water Amun. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yohana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. These are the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, posse comitatus, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always. So be it. Shalom Israel. Shalom Israel. I'm gonna give a courtesy salute to the Akim, to the brethren. Shalom Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Barakathum, and to the sisters. Shalom Yahweh Shemal Latham Bashem Yahweh Shai. Y'all give me 1 second. All right. So last week we left off at Exodus 30 and 19. So we're gonna go ahead and continue from there. Exodus chapter 30, verse 20. And if you have your Bible Hub app, you can follow along in the Hebrew. Salakia. We'll be reading 7 verses in the Hebrew and breaking them down in English. And then if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get started. Salakia. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 30. One second. Oh, Salaki. I mean, Exodus 20. Hold on. That is not correct. Hold on 1 second, y'all. That is not correct. Y'all give me 1 second. I apologize. Hold on 1 second. Salaki. Oh, Salaki. That's why. Okay. Yeah, Exodus 30 and 20. My fault, y'all. All right, here we go. Salaki. All right, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 30, verse 20. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Ba'ayam, all, ahal, mawa'id, ya, raka, tazawa, mayam, wala'a, ya, mataiwa, awa, baga, shatayim, all, ha, mazabakam, salakia ha, mazabaka, la sharath, la hakwa, tayara, salakia, la hakwa, tayar, Asha Yahweh. Verse 21. Wara Katazawa Yada Yahum Yadayahum Wara Galayim Wala'a Ya Mathayawa Waha Yataya Lahum Kakwa Awalam Lawa Wala Zaraiwa Salakia Wala Zaraiwa Lada Dathayim Exodus 30 and 22. Waya Dabar, Yahweh, All, Mashah, Lamar. Exodus 30 and 23. Wa'a, Thaha, Kwaka, Laka, Bashamayim, Ra'ash, Marah, Darawar, Kamash, Ma'awath, Wakwa, Namaiwa, Salakia, Wakwa, Naman, Wa Quanamam, Basham, Makha Tazayathaiwa, Kamashium, Wa Ma'atayam, Makwa, Salakia, Wakwa, Wakwana, Wakwa, na wakwana, basham, kamashium, wa ma'ithium. Verse 24. Wa quada, kamash, ma'aiwath, bashakwa, hakwadash, wa shaman, zayath, hayan. Verse 25. Wa'ai, shayatha, atawa, shaman, ma shakathai, ma shakath, quadash, rakwaka, mara, quakath, ma'aisha, rakwak, rakwak, Salakia, rakwaka, shaman, Mashakath, Quadash, Yaha. Verse 26. Wamashkatha, Bawa, Ath, Ahal, Mawa'id, Wa'ath, Rawan, Ha'ai, Idath. Verse 27. Wa'ath, Hashal, Shalakan, Wa'ath, Kal, Kalayawa, Kal Yawa, Wa'ath, Had Manara, Wa'ath, Kal Salakia, Ka Layaha, Wa'ath, Mazabaka, Quatarath. All right, Exodus 20 through 27. Exodus 30, 20 through 27 in the English. When thou go into the tabernacle of the congregation, they shall wash with water, that they die not. Or when they come near to the altar to minister, to burn offering made by fire unto the Lord, so shall they wash their hands and their feet, that they die not. Salakia. And it shall be a statute forever unto them, even to him and to his seed throughout their generations. So these were the laws of and I'm not comparing this to like a restaurant, but you know how like when you go into a bathroom at a restaurant, you'll have a sign on the mirror or a sign on the wall. It'll say all servers or all employees must wash their hands. You know, I'm not. I said this is the temple of the Lord. I'm not comparing it to a place that you patron for food, but I'm just trying to give you an understanding of what's being said here. That this was that everybody got to wash their hands and their feet. You know what I'm saying, that they die not. And this is the Lord saying that, which the Lord could take somebody out whenever he feels like it. But this is also dealing with just communicable diseases, all that blood that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? The ash, the dirt, the flesh. The Lord had prescribed specific policies for sacrifices, but also maintaining personal. I'm gonna use the word hygiene, but I really just mean like sanitary procedures and protocols for the priests, right? That they die not. One, because the Lord said to do it. So if you disobey the Lord, death can be at hand. But also from a practical standpoint, just being sanitary. All right. Verse 21 again. So they shall wash their hands and their feet, that they die not, and it shall be a statute forever to them, even to him and to his seed throughout their generations. Moreover, the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take thou also unto thee principal spices of pure myrrh, which y'all see us burning up here every day, you know what I'm saying, on the table of the Lord is frank and myrrh. You understand? But the Lord is saying pure myrrh. All right. That was a good, I didn't want to use the word segue. That was a good reminder to go ahead and get it lit up in here. All right. Because the Lord, he want all that smoke. All right. And take thou unto thee principal spices of pure myrrh, 500 shekels, meaning 500 shekels worth, right? Of sweet cinnamon, half so much, even 250 shekels of sweet calamus. These are different spices. You can look these spices up, right? And 250 shekels, and of cassia, 500 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, and of the olive, and of the oil olive, a hin. These are the amounts and prices, or the weight. You know what I mean? You would know the amount by the price of the shekels, or the amount of money of how much they were supposed to use every day in the temple to have these spices in the sacrifices. Verse 25, and thou shalt make it a oil of holy ointment. So this is what the oil that was used to anoint the priest was made with. It says myrrh, cinnamon, calamus, and cassia. Now I gotta say this, man. You understand? And shalom to Yalitha. How you doing, sis? Or brother Salaki, I'm not sure. You understand? So forgive Salaki, forgive me for that. But shalom to you. This is how you know that these the so-called the Amalekites, who today are regarded as the Jewish man, right? This is how you know that they're not the Israelites. I've never really been around Caucasians that smell good. I haven't really been around any heathens that smell good. You know, even like when you get around Moabites and Ammonites or the Chinese, they smell like what is that? They smell like kimchi, or like strong, like the herbs that they use to cook their food with. But they don't. I've never been around heathens that smell good. You got the East Indians smell like curry or some type of pungent smell, right? Like it's always kind of related to their food. But now when you're around blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, they smell good. You understand? And like I said, even these smells right here that the Lord wanted in his temple, this is a reflection of how when you go into a brother's house or a Hispanic's house or a Native, they got good smells going. Either it's from the food smelling good, or they themselves, they smell well. And so just like Captain Tazarak with his oils and body butters, it's the priest always dealt with the smells that the Lord loved, and making good smells, something that you want to be around and be and be involved in, whether it's the barbecue or it's the body oils and whatnot. But this oil that was made was created to anoint the priest with. Those so-called Jewish imposters, they're not smelling like this. You know, down there, them so-called Hasidic Jewish imposters down there in Brooklyn, New York, all piled up together. You know what I'm saying? You know, wearing their black robes and black hats. They're not smelling like this or utilizing any of these things. It's not their culture. You understand? You know, just straight up and down. And like, I remember when I lived in New Jersey, I worked at I think it's called Fort McGuire. This was during the Bosnian Serbian war, and Bill Clinton had brought over refugees of I think they were Bosnians, because the Serbians were trying to do a genocide of unaliving the Bosnians. But see, the Bosnians were the descendants of Ottoman Turks, right? These are white Caucasian Muslims. And now, mind you, I wasn't in the truth. I knew about the truth because of music. There was an artist named Killer Priest that used to be in the ISUPK, and that's how I knew about the truth. I used to live in California, and I moved to Jersey, and then you know, I only knew partially because through the music of that brother about the truth. But what I'm saying is that I had never encountered. I had watched that movie Malcolm X. They showed the scene when he goes to Saudi Arabia, whatever, and he encounters different races of Muslims, and he's like, "Oh, I can't even understand that everybody can be a Muslim," which is garbage. You know what I'm saying? I mean, anybody can be a Muslim, but it was the whole idea of God loves everybody, everybody can be together. That nonsense, right? But at any rate, I had never seen in real life a white Muslim, and these white Muslims who came over, they came over as refugees. My job and the job of many of us, was black people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us was to feed them. We ran the kitchen and we would feed them 3 meals a day, and it was good pay at the time for me. You know what I'm saying? But when I seen them with their hats, it was like a Turkish. I never seen white Muslims like talking about their faith in the Allah and the Quran. It was weird, and I was thrown off by it. And like they looked like something out of like the 1800s or like the 1700s or something like that. That's even how they dressed. And the men were very protective over their women, and they were all grotesque looking. You know what I'm saying? It just was like, but the thing that threw me off, what bugged me out is that they looked just like the people who call themselves Jewish today in terms of physical appearance, the nose, the structure of their noses, their facial structure, their smell, they stunk. You know what I'm saying? They were not, they didn't have, and the facilities that they set up for them on the base was good. They had showers and stuff, but they just smelled. You know what I mean? But I remember looking at them like, man, they look like the people who call themselves Jews, the imposters. And when you do the knowledge to it, and I don't want to get off too long on this, but when you do the knowledge to it, they're really descendants of Khazarians, because the same group of Caucasians that were Ottoman Turks, right, Muslim Caucasians, they were trapped between them and the Byzantine Empire, the Byzantine Empire was initially set up by black people. You know what I'm saying? Because when the Roman Empire was falling, blacks began to rise and take it over. But after a while, during like the Renaissance, that's when they came out of the bottomless pit, and they Satan came back to take charge again, and they began to undermine the black rulership in Rome. Like that's why you have movies like Othello and things like that, right? At any rate, these Khazarians were trapped in between these Muslim Caucasians and these Christian Caucasians, right? And so they chose a religion, right, that they felt like preceded both the Muslims, right, who claimed, Ishmael through Abraham, and then you had the Christians who, supposed Christians that were claiming Christ, right? But they said, well, we're going to claim the religion of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and call ourselves Jews. But they all look the same. You understand? They all look the same. They're all Caucasian. But we're only deceived because we don't know history, and we think that, religion spawned out of certain areas in certain people groups, when really they're all the same. Like I had a conversation with this white Christian woman. She was getting on me about some comments I made on a post that we did challenging, Christianity, and she was talking about how, I didn't know what I'm talking about. I'm a false prophet and all that, right? And I just let her know. I'm like, listen, you're the Christ referred to heathens as dogs, and I gave her the scripture out of Mark 7, and I said, this was a white woman that Christ was talking to, and he didn't help her until she acknowledged that she was a dog. He didn't give her no assistance, and her response to me is you don't even know what you're talking about. She was a Greek woman. Because in Caucasians' minds, like you have Caucasians who look at the so-called Jewish man and be like, they're not white. Right? She was a white woman telling me that this person was a Greek, not white. What are Greeks? When you watch the movie Alexander, you got Colin Farrell playing Alexander. Those are white people. You know what I'm saying? There's no difference between Greeks, Italians, people from Britain. They're all the same. They may grow up with different dialects and ways of speaking. Like You got the Scottish and the Irish, they're still white. You got the Italians and the Germans, they're still white. It doesn't change the fact that they're white. You understand? But it's that lack of knowledge, and then we, because we're educated by them, we operate with that lack of knowledge as well. And we don't know who we're dealing with. And so what I'm saying is, the reason why I'm bringing this out is because when you study these scriptures, if you really get into it, you're going to see that this reflects blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, that this is your culture. If you know in the chat, you tell me, when have you ever encountered a heathen that smells good? Unless they're around, us and they pick up from our culture. I've never encountered it. So when I read this about the smells that they were used for the oil of the priests, how could that not be but black men? You understand? Salakia. And shout out to the tribe of Levi, man, the Haitians, you know what I'm saying? All right. Verse 30. Actually, I might have went too far. No. Here we go. Salakia, here we go. And they shall take Salakia. Let me get right back. Salakia. Verse 25. And thou shalt make it an oil of holy ointment, an ointment compound after the art of the apothecary. Apothecary is like Captain Tazariak is an apothecaryist, right? It's a person who mixes oils, creates ointments, you know what I'm saying? Emollients. These are all old English words dealing with people who mix like tinctures and things together. That's why he has the beard oil, the hair oil, the body butters. An apothecary or an apothecaryist is a person not just dealing with things that smell good, like different incenses and oils that you would use for your home. You know what I'm saying? I think they call them diffusion or infusion sticks. So you put a stick in the oil and it makes the whole house smell good. But they also dealt with like medicinal remedies as well. But it's a person who mixes things together. So when he says after the art of the apothecary, he's talking about people that are skilled in mixing certain herbs and oils together, you know what I'm saying, that to produce a certain effect on the, you know what I'm saying, on a person. And this shall be a holy anointing oil. And thou shalt anoint the tabernacle of the congregation therewith in the ark of the testimony. So the Lord wanted this smell all on the temple, all on the tabernacle, and on the ark. All right. That lets you know that the Lord, like, how black people, we hate getting into cabs with heathens because why? It smells. We want to be around things that smell good. We want good smells going. Why? Because we're the children of God. And God wants, in the temple, when they crying out Quadash, 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 and they're throwing you know what I'm saying, coals and different spices on the altar. And it says that the smoke filled the temple. That's the spirit of the Lord. He's a man of war, but he also want to smell things. He also want to smell good and have where he lives smell good. That's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. That's our culture. I'm gonna be real with you. Unless people living like our oppressor, I go into a house, man. It's even back, it was lighting them dirty incense sticks that you get from the corner store. We was trying to, or you use the restroom. They be like, hey, don't forget to light that incense. Whatever. They don't want no bad smells there. Light that incense. I remember this one sister said she used to light a match, but that's nonsense. But whatever to get rid of the foul smells. Saturday, the day of rest, right? We're in the house. What's blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians doing? Cleaning up the whole house. You can't even go outside to play till you get done mopping the floors and scrubbing the walls. I mean, that's how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? Saturday was the day like to clean the temple, to clean the house. All right. Salakia, verse 27. To anoint the ark of the testimony and the table and all his vessels and the candlestick, which is the menorah, and his vessels and the altar of incense. All right. So all this had to get hit with that oil. The Lord wanted the whole tabernacle smelling amazing, lovely. All right. We serve a black God, man. All right. This is Exodus 30 and 28 in the Hebrew. Wa'ath, mazabak, ha, ilah, Wa'ath, call. Ka layawa, wa'ath. Hayakar, with Salakia ha, or Salakia ha, Kayar, wa'ath, Kanawa. Verse 29, Salakia. Wa Quadash, Wa Quadashta, Atham, Wahayawa, Quadash, Quadashium, call. Hanagai, Baham, Ya Quadash. Verse 30. Wa'ath, Aharon, Wa'ath, Banayawa, Thamashika, Salakia, Tha Mashak, Wa Quadashta, Atham, La Kahan. Verse 31, Wa'al, Banya, Yasha'ala, Adabar, Lamar, Shaman, Mash, Kata, Kodash, Yahayaha, Zaha, Laya, La, Darathayakam. Verse 32, Ayal, Bashar, Adam, La'ah, Ya, Yasak, Salakia, Ya, Yasaka, Wa, Bamathaka, Nataiwa, La'ah, Ta'aishawa, Kama, Hawa, Kodash, Hai Wa'ah, Kodash, Yaha, Lakam. Verse 33, Ayash, Ashar, Yarakwak, Salakia, Rawakwak, Rawakwaka, Rakwaka, Kamaihawa, Wa'ashar, Yayathan, Manayawa, All, Zara, Wana, Karath, Mayawa. Verse 34, Wayamar, Yahweh, All, Mashah, Kwaka, Laka, Samayam, Natap, Washa, Kalayatha, Waka, Laba, Wasalakia, Wa, Kala, Bana, Samayam, Wala, Bana, Zakah, Babad, Yayaha. All right, Exodus 28 to 34. And the altar of burnt offering with all his vessels and the laver and his foot. And thou shalt sanctify the laver is it's like the tub where, like, they would clean the meat from the blood and drain the blood and things like that. So it means the laver and his foot is talking about the tub and the legs. Let me make sure that's correct. Hold on a second. Because laver could be I don't know, I've heard that word laver before, but I want to make sure I'm correct with that. Because I think, like, overseas, I don't know if y'all, my parents were in the military, so I was overseas. And sometimes even if you go to a college, they'll call it this, but they'll call the bathroom or the restroom a lavatory. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that before, but it's a place to wash your hands, to cleanse. But let me make sure that's what laver means, because I don't want to be saying the wrong thing. But that's what I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Hold on one second. Laver, Laver. Okay, so I'm correct. In the context of the Bible, a laver is a large basin used for ceremonial ablutions by priests in the tabernacle and temple. It was a vessel of brass containing water where priests would wash their hands and their feet before performing their duties. The laver also served as a place to wash sacrificial parts. So I was correct. All right. Moving on. Right. So the laver in his foot meant the tub, the basin with the, you know how you have them old bathtubs. You don't really see them no more because they connect to the ground. But I remember like my grandmother would have tubs that had legs, like porcelain tubs that had legs. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's talking about, the foot. And thou shalt sanctify them that they may be most holy. Whatsoever toucheth them shall be holy. That's why y'all understand what that means. You know, like, but think about it practically, but it's spiritual too. But like a doctor, like when like when doctors go into surgery, they like the nurses, everybody got to have on like masks and they constantly washing their hands. Like we go in the sink and wash our hands up to the wrist, right? But doctors, they wash their hands all the way up to the elbows. Like they'll raise up their shirts and wash their hands all the way to the elbows. You understand? Like that, this is the mindset that you need to keep when you're thinking about the work in the temple, because it was so much blood work being done. You had to keep it. It's because it's such bloody work. You got to be clean. That's the work of the truth. It's a bloody work, so you got to be clean. You understand? That's the spirit of that. All right. Verse 30. And thou shalt anoint Aaron and his sons and consecrate them that they may minister unto me in the priest office. And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, this shall be a holy anointing oil unto me throughout your generations. And upon man flesh shall it not be poured, neither shall ye make any other like it after the composition of it. It is holy, and it shall be holy unto you. Verse 33, whosoever compoundeth any like it, or whatsoever putteth any of it upon a stranger, shall even be cut off from his people. So think about this, man. It's like the Lord saying that this is not supposed to go, you ain't supposed to just use this like as a smell good thing. Like Captain Zark make his body butters and oils, that you can use them like casually for going out, being around your wife, or wife around her husband, you know what I'm saying, just as a smell good thing. But this particular concoction or recipe was only for the tabernacle and the temple. It wasn't to be used commonly. You understand? That's why I say you couldn't put it upon a stranger, right? Meaning that not just let alone a heathen, right? A person of another nation or race, but you couldn't even put it upon a person or have a person use it that wasn't involved in the office of a priest. That's the point. All right. It was holy. It was set apart. All right. And verse 32, and upon man's flesh shall it not be poured, neither shall ye make any other like it after the composition of it. It is holy, and it shall be holy unto you. Whosoever compounds it or tries to make it, create it, any like it, or whosoever puts it upon a stranger shall even be cut off from his people. Right? Verse 34, and the Lord said unto Moses, take unto thee sweet spices of stacte, onycha, and galbanum, these sweet spices with pure frankincense, of each shall there be a like weight. All right. Get the next 7. If y'all got any questions. No, I don't know what you're saying. I don't even know who you are or what language that is. All right. Let me see. Verse 35. Let's get to it, y'all. Instead of asking me, you could just tell me what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? For whoever's in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what we do. That's what speaking in tongues is. When I read the Hebrew, then I explain what I'm speaking in English. That's what, when it says let nobody speak in tongues without having an interpreter, that's what it's talking about. It's not talking about that Christian gospel nonsense that y'all do in the Christian church, right? A lot of heathens, man, they try to use their language, or that they they'll say like, oh yeah, my language just it comes from Aramaic, or we speak the real Listen, they try to use that to trump you, right? But the truth is that in the Bible it describes it that the people of Israel, right, the Israelites, like in Jeremiah 17:9, that we would lose our culture, we would lose our heritage, we would lose our language and what we knew to be our culture. Why? Because we will be under the rulership of heathens and be speaking a tongue that we don't know. You understand? So whenever, like, don't allow these imposters who who have developed over a period of time a religion off of our culture, right? Or if they speak a different language, don't let that like intimidate you. You understand? You not knowing your culture, you not knowing your language, you having to relearn your Hebrew and relearn your language is an indication that you are the children of Israel. Them knowing their bloodline, I could trace my people all the way back to the house of David. That's a lie. You're lying. Because the Bible describes in the last days that the people of Israel, they wouldn't have the knowledge of who they were. It says that you will regain the knowledge of who you were in the land of your captivity when you come back to yourself. These so-called fake Jews, they're not claiming to have lost their identity. They're claiming to have always had it. That's another indication that they're not the real people of the book. All right, the people of God. So don't be intimidated by that. All right. Yeah. So here we go. Wa'ai shayata atha quatara raquak rawakwa ra quaka ma'aisha rawa quaka ma malaka tahawar quadash. Verse 36. Wash wa shaka quata ma mana hadak wanatha ma mana la pinya ha ida ba ahal mawa'id ashar wa'id laka shema quadashium thahayah lakam. Salaki, y'all give me 1 second. Okay. Wa shika kota ma mana. I think I already read this. Yeah, Salakia, verse 37. Waha quata wa hakwa tarath ashar the Aisha bamath kanaitha la'a the Aishawa lakam quadash ta haya laka Yahweh. Verse 38. Ayash ashar Ya'aisha Kamawa. Yeah, this is a scoffer. It's no sweat. Destruction is coming to the heathens, to all of y'all. So it's all good. You know what I mean? Just type away. You know what I'm saying? You watching me, I ain't watching you. Kamawath. Laharyaka Baha Wanakara Ma'ai Mayawa. Exodus 31:1. Wayadabar Yahweh all Mashah Lamar. Exodus 31:2. Ra'ai Qara'ath Basham Bataza Laya'al Bun Iwaraya, Bun, Banya, Salakia, or Bana, Kawarar, Kawara, excuse me, Lamata, La Mata, Yahawada, Exodus 31:3. Wa Amal Athawa, Rawaka, Alahayim, Ba Ka Kama, Waba Thaba Wana, Wa Badiah, Wa Bakal, Mala'a Mala'aka. All right, in the English, Exodus 35 to 31:3. And thou shalt make it a perfume, a confection after the art of the apothecary, tempered together, pure and holy. And thou shalt beat some of it very small, and put of it before the testimony in the tabernacle of the congregation, where I will meet with thee. It shall be unto you most holy. Verse 37. And as for the perfume which thou shalt make, ye shall not make to yourselves according to the composition thereof. It's just what I explained earlier, that you can't make this particular compound or oil that was strictly for the tabernacle and all the vessels and the ark of the testimony. You couldn't make this into a personal cologne, right, or perfume. It's just the Lord reiterating to Moses what he said to him earlier. And as for the perfume which thou shalt make, ye shall not make to yourselves according to the composition thereof. It shall be unto thee holy for the Lord. This is what the Lord wanted for himself. All right, for the duties in the tabernacle. Whosoever shall make like unto that, and to smell thereto, meaning that if you try to make this a personal scent for yourself, and you know to wear like every day, for yourself, thereunto shall even be cut off from his people. So this was like this is like not being circumcised, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever other laws where the Lord said if you violated that law, you'd be cut off from your people, meaning that you would no longer be considered an Israelite. You will be what they refer to as a Gentile. You understand? And we ain't gonna get into that, but that's what that's talking about when Paul is going to the Gentiles. He's not going to people of other nations. They're dogs. People of other nations, other heathens are dogs. They're not God's people. You understand? They're just here. The world was made for our sakes. They're just here to serve. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And they will, when at the return of Christ, they will have to do it either by force, or what I mean, by because they'll be unalived. You understand? That's what's going to happen. Like this, the Gentiles in the context of the heathens, they're going to be in the kingdom of heaven. But like Isaiah 14:1 says, they're going to be there as servants to the children of Israel. And like Isaiah 60 says, the nation that will not serve us will perish and be utterly wasted. You understand? But you as an Israelite, Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you living according to the ways of this world. And when I say this world, we're not talking about the earth, right? We're talking about the society that our oppressor has set up, right? That has pornography all on the social media, right? They just arrested a judge and a chief of a fire department, and they're trying them now because they were part of a child SA ring, right? They had terabytes of CPA, or see, or child pornography. And the heavy part about it was that the chief, the fire chief, had been arrested previously for the same crime and was brought before the judge that's now arrested, and the judge that he went before let him go. And then they connected and began to share all this stuff. The people who sit in power over you, this is why the Bible says in Job chapter 9, I want to say it's verse 9 and 34. I'm just I'm paraphrasing, but it says that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So the world that you live in right now, when Paul talks about the God of this world, is talking about the oppressor, the people who are in power, who set the morality or the lack thereof for this society. You understand? So when it says for God so loved the world, he's not talking about the world of the heathens and everybody that's in it. He's talking about the world that he had envisioned back when he gave the laws to Moses, when Deuteronomy 7 and 6, that he said he would make us a special people above all people that are above the face of the earth. So God had a preference. If you want to use the term racist, that's fine. But he preferred the Israelites, you understand, above every other nation. You can read that in Amos 3 and 1. He said, I'm speaking to you, children of Israel, the family that I brought up out of the land of Egypt. Only you have I known of all the families of the earth. That's what it says. I've only known you. The Lord in Psalms 147, 19 and 20, he says that I didn't deal with you. I didn't deal with you. Like, basically, I've only dealt with you. I'm not dealt with any other nation. I showed my statutes unto you. I gave my law unto you, unto Jacob and Israel. With any other nation, I haven't dealt with them. Because why? He doesn't care about them. This is why you get punished. This is why you're on the bottom of society, because not you, we. Why we are on the bottom of society, because we get punished for violating the laws that the Lord gave us. He didn't give us a religion. He gave us laws. And our oppressor is the man of sin, right? Meaning that it's like if you were to say that Floyd Mayweather or Gervonta Davis is the man of boxing, right? Or LeBron James or Kobe Bryant was the man of basketball, right? Or whoever you think is great in football or whatever like that, right? The greatest wide receiver, I don't know, Jerry Rice. He's the man of wide receivers, meaning that he's the man of sin, that no one else does it like how he does it. That's what he's known for. You know what I'm saying? Our oppressor is diametrically opposed to the Most High in his laws. They use the religion of Christianity to wear it as a veneer, you know what I'm saying, to hold some type of stance of morality. But it's like they want to uphold the image of keeping, God's morality, especially while they break it. That's why I mentioned that judge and that fire chief, man. These people that are supposed to be the upholders of what's right and societal order, they're the ones that are doing all the wickedness. That's why the Epstein files haven't been released. You saw how Elon Musk and Donald Trump are having that lovers spat, and Elon Musk is definitely the woman in that relationship. Now that he's scorned because he's not getting his electric car subsidies, now he wants to expose Donald Trump about being in the Epstein files. Well, you knew that when you had the chainsaw up on the stage at the Republican convention talking about cut the spending. You knew that then. You knew it when you got on stage after Trump's election and did the Heil Hitler. You understand? He knew that about Trump then. Why? Because he was seeing all the secret files. He was researching everything. But he didn't bring it out. Why? Because they were only in collusion based on him benefiting off of what Trump was doing. He spent $500 million on Trump's campaign and other Republicans to get them elected. And now because Trump is not doing what he wants him to do, now he's a woman scorned. But these are your leaders. This is why the scriptures say that, our eyes have failed, looking for vain help and looking towards a nation that cannot save us. God did not come, Christ didn't die for everybody. God does not want everybody to unite. You see that over and over again. That's what Nebuchadnezzar tried to do in Babylon, right? What what's his name? Nimrod tried to do, you know what I'm saying, at the Tower of Babel, right? Xerxes went over Persia and the Medes. He was ruling over 127 provinces. Alexander, When he came into power, they try to bring everybody up under one banner. That's not what the Lord wants. That's why at the Tower of Babel, he separated all the languages. That the Lord wanted us to be separate so bad that he made people not know each other in speech. He divided the tongues. This whole idea of God bringing everybody together is a lie. It's Christianity. It's philosophy. Right? And look, America tried to recreate it. That's why America is just trying to, imitate what Rome did. Rome was ruling over many different nations as well and trying to bring them all together. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. The only thing that's going to work is the kingdom of heaven, where the Most High is over Christ. Christ is the king. And under Christ is the 144,000, which are 12,000 out of each of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, who are with the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. That's his government. And then you have, the civilians of the nation of Israel, who are the high, or in that hierarchy, they are the upper class. And then you have all the other nations that we're going to rule over. The same way that you talk about white privilege here in America is going to be Israelite privilege in the kingdom of heaven. That's all you got to think about. And the heathens, when they come to worship the Most High, when they come to the mountain of the Lord, all the nations, and come to serve, they're going to serve because they're going to be in subjection. Think about them as being the new Mexicans, the new Hispanics, or the new Haitians. How the Haitians try to come over here and get into America, and they got to go through a vigorous vetting process. Not those South African white refugees that came out of South Africa. They're gonna, how they get special treatment coming in. That's what it's gonna be like for Israelites. That's why the 12 gates of the kingdom of heaven have on each gate the name of the 12 tribes, because there's gonna be Israelite privilege. And the angels that are at the gates are checking for your immigration papers. Because if you're not a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you're gonna come in, but you're gonna get searched, because we know that you guys are, drug dealers, essayers. You know what I'm saying? You're a criminal class. America was established by a criminal class. You learn this in history in school. They taught us that the criminals that left out of England went to Australia, and that's true because they damn near wiped out the Aboriginal people of the Aborigines that lived in Australia, and then they came to America. It was the criminal class that left England and then came to Australia and America and other places and built their government. They were criminals. And it to be true. They supposedly they left England for religious freedom, but then they go and enslave a whole other nation and race of people to build up their kingdom. Well, if it's good enough for America, it's going to be good enough for the kingdom of God. That's why it says the son of strangers in Isaiah 60 are going to build up your walls. Yes, there's going to be slavery in the kingdom of heaven. There's going to be servants, a servant class, and it's going to be the other nations. And you could get on here and say black Israelites or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's what the Bible says. You're not mad at me. You're mad at the Lord. He that despiseth man despiseth not man, but despiseth God. You despise me and hate me because why? I'm like it's like how they did the prophets before us. If everybody loves Joel Osteen and Creflo Dollar and all these Christian pastors, then how are they the prophets of God? The scripture, Christ said that blessed are men when they revile you and persecute you and say all manner of evil falsely for my name's sake. Because I'm speaking about a black man named Christ, a black king. That's why you say that, it's an issue or you got a problem with us. If I was speaking what you speak, that God loves everybody, you'd be happy. Because you know why? That means that my people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, got to stay on the bottom. But let me get back to it, man. Salakia. I'm about to be heading to camp in a little bit. I'm a little turned. Salakia. Keep that for camp. All right. Bakama. Let me see here. I think I was still reading in English. So Salakia. Up to verse 3, right. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, this is Exodus 31 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, see, I have called thee by name, Bezaleel, the son of Uriah, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. And I have filled him with the Spirit of God, in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge and in all manner of workmanship. It's a brother out, he's in our zone in South Texas, Bariah. He has a farm. Well, it's Salaki. It's the Lord's farm. It's the farm for under Commander General Yohana. But he's under Commander General Yohana. He has set up a farm out there with cows, chickens. You know what I'm saying? For our nation. But the brother, he also makes these medallions, right? You know what I'm saying, out of pewter, and he does all that metal work, and he's filled with the Spirit of God, with the Spirit of the Lord, in that skill, in that trade. You know what I'm saying? And he does it in the old ways. You understand? But shout out to Bariah. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of the name of his the zone he's in. Salak is Officer Malakwa. I should already know that by heart. But shout out to Officer Bariah. You know what I'm saying? He holds his classes too. You'll know him because, you know what I'm saying, he got the patch over his eye like Captain Soccer War, man. He's a man of the Lord. I ain't gonna lie. When I seen both the brothers, I was like, that's how they looked in the past. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to him, you know what I'm saying? Meaning that he had a skill set to work with metal work. You understand, in terms of shaping metal works. All right. Now verse 4 in the Hebrew, going to 11. All right, Salakia. Lakashab ma kashabath la'ai shawath ba zahab wa bakasap wabana kashath. Exodus 31:5. Wa bakarash aban lamal la malaath wa bakar shita aitaza la aishawath bakar malaaka. Exodus 31:6. Wa'ai naya hana na thaya athawa ath ahal yaab banya salakia bana a kayas a kaya samak lama la mata dan wabalab call hakam lab nathaya hakama wa aishawa ath call ashar tazawayataika. Verse 7. Ath ahal mawa'id wa'ath ha'aran la'ai data wa'ath ha kaparath ashar alayawa wa'ath call kalaya ha'ai salakia ha ahal. Verse 8. Wa'ath ha shalakan wa'ath kala yawal wa'ath ha manara ha tathyra wa'ath call kala yaha wa'ath mazabak ha quatarath. Verse 9. Wa'ath mazabak A Ha Ilaha Wa'ath Call Kalayowa Wa'ath Ha Kayawar Wa'ath Kanawa. Verse 10, Wa'ath Bagadaya Ha Sharad Wa'ath Bagadaya Ha Quadash La Aharon Ha Kahan Wa'ath Bagadaya Banayawa La Kahan. All right, verse 4. So like verse 11. Wa'ath Shaman Ha Mashakath Wa'ath Quatarath Ha Samayim Lakwadash Kakal Ashar Tazawayathayaka Ya'ishawa. All right, chapter 31, verse 4. To devise cunning works, to work in gold and in silver and in brass, and in cutting of stones, to set them, and in carving of timber, to work in all manner of workmanship. And I, behold, I have given with him Ahaliab, the son of Ashamach, of the tribe of Dan, and in the hearts of all that are wise, and in the hearts of all that are wise-hearted, I have put wisdom, that they may make all that I have commanded thee. The tabernacle of the congregation, and the ark of the testimony, and the mercy seat that is thereupon, and all the furniture of the tabernacle, and the table of his furniture, and the pure candlestick with all his furniture, and the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offering with all his furniture, and the laver and his foot, and the cloths of service, and the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and the garment of his sons to minister in the priest office. He's talking about the men who he gave the wisdom to be able to construct all these things. That's why you got brothers like Officer Gadiawan, Officer Hazahab, Officer Aisha out of South Carolina, Hazahab out of Jerusalem, you know what I'm saying, out of Brooklyn, from Brooklyn, New York, you know what I'm saying, out of Harlem. You got brothers like Officer Gadiawan, camp leader of Austin, you know what I'm saying, and the men under him, Officer Yaikwab, Officer Isaiah Allah, all the men, you know what I'm saying, Captain good night. Captain out of Oklahoma. I can't think of his name right now. But all the men who are gifted, you know what I'm saying, in the workmanship of creating garments. Like I just said, Officer Bariah out of South Texas, you know what I'm saying, with the stone work and the gem work, the metal work. That's the spirit of the Lord that's in them that's doing that. You understand? That's something that the Lord got to give you. Salakia. All right. And then let's keep going. Verse, let's see. Oh, Salakia, I think that's, oh, we got two more, and that's it. Salakia. So verse 11 and 12. Wa'ath, oh, actually verse 12, that'd have been it. Salakia. Wayamar Yahweh al Mashah Lamar. And verse 12 says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, all right, this is when the Lord is going to go into, I believe it's going to be his sanctifying of the Sabbath. But we'll continue with that next week. We're going to go ahead and see what this clown is saying. I agree with Hammer, A. Hammer. Thomas Sowell. I don't know who that is. I'm not even going to look him up. The truth is in the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. I'm not looking at no white men to give any type of knowledge. I do agree with you that the Pope is the oppressor, but white people are the oppressor. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's funny, man. In the book of Revelations, how much time do I got? I got some time. Let me go to the book of Revelations real quick, because this the thing that tripped me out, right? White people feel like that they're not an enemy to Christ and to his people. You are definitely that. When Christ came on the scene, who was the government and the people ruling over the Israelites? It was Rome. And anybody with any knowledge out there, tell me where Rome is located. It's the capital of what country? Somebody tell me. And I'm going to get Revelations real quick. And also, let me give to my people. I shouldn't be entertaining, these others, but I'm doing it for the sake of y'all. But if y'all have not watched Officer Thabawan with General Mayak, the breakdown of Revelations 19 and 20, you need to watch that on YouTube. Go to Hollywood Israelites, and you need to watch the breakdown from General Mayak, assisted by Officer Thabawan, you know what I'm saying? An excellent priest and an excellent brother, right? Who also has the Spirit of the Lord. How did I forget him in terms of the garments in his household? Who has the Spirit of the Lord, you know what I'm saying? In the making of wonderful garments. He actually did this right here. You understand? What y'all seeing right here. You understand? Captain Debar Moth, you know what I'm saying? These, you know what I'm saying? Excellent in that leather work and craftsmanship. But you need to go watch the breakdown with General Mayak and Officer Thabawan of Revelations 19 and 20, man. You understand? Because Christians want you to believe that it's a God so loved the world. When if God so loves the world, why when he comes back is there going to be blood to the bridle's mouth, to the horse's bridle? Huh? Why if Christ is coming to save everybody and to save the world, then let's read this in Revelations and see what it says, man. Chapter 1. No, man. Y'all listen. Yes, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, specifically the so-called Negro, the tribe of Judah, we in Benjamin and Levi, we betrayed Christ. We did. We handed him over to the government. We did. But who was the government? Who put Christ and hung him on a tree? Now, I don't mean like how we got lynched, but that's what they do to us. You know, they hung us from trees here in America. But Christ was hung on a cross because that was the Roman death penalty and how they executed criminals. They hung a black man on a tree, and they pierced him with a spear. Romans did that. Italians. That's who did that. White people murdered a black man. And it's the irony of all these white people and all these other nations believing on a black man who don't think he was black because Leonardo da Vinci painted an image of Cesare Borgia, the second son of Pope Alexander VI of Rome, and put that image, the image of the beast, into the minds of God's people. That's why it says in the scriptures is that he sits as God in the temple of God. Christians make that physical. No, what it's talking about is that it's talking about in the minds of God's people, the Israelites. Didn't Paul say, know ye not that you are the temple of God, in whom the Spirit of God dwells? So when you have that image of white Christ in your mind, it's God, it's him sitting as God in God's temple, meaning that in our minds, we take on the image that Leonardo da Vinci painted of Cesare Borgia, and we believe that white people are the people of God when they are the devil that the Bible speaks of. And by devil, what do we mean? We're not talking about how the Catholic Church and how Christians want to make you believe that it's all these spirits running around causing all this trouble. No, the only spirits that are causing trouble are the spirits that are in men. Satan cannot make you sin. The devil tempted Christ in the wilderness. Christ didn't sin. He was tempted. He could have done it, but he didn't. You understand? Thoughts that come into your head are not the problem. It's the spirit of men who already have the lust in their heart, like James said. That's why it says, don't say that God tempts man, because God can't be tempted with evil. Paraphrasing, and neither does he tempt any man with evil. But man, right, when he's enticed by the lust of his own heart, is drawn away and enticed. And then he sins, and that sin brings forth death. Why? Because the wages of sin is death. But what does that mean? Is that talking about every nation on the planet? No, because the law wasn't given to every nation. Every nation wasn't out there in the wilderness with Moses and the Israelites. You got these nations that want to cleave on to Christ and cleave on to our people. Like they're now it's the spiritual Israel with that replacement theology. Oh, the church is the church of the heathens is the new Israel. No, that's a lie. We are the flock of his pasture. Ezekiel 34, and I want to say 36, or 34 and 34 through 36. The house of Israel. The men are the flock of his pasture. We are his sheep. The Bible calls the rest of you nations beasts of the field. Christ didn't die for goats. He didn't die for for you beasts of the field. This is why when that white woman, that Greek woman, the Syrophoenician woman came to Christ and asked for the devil to get cast out of her daughter, what did Christ say in response? Y'all want to say, oh, y'all, you black Israelites. Do you say you yellow Chinese? Israelites are black people. They're Hispanics and Native Indians. What do you mean black Israelite? There's never been a white Israelite. Like, what do you mean by that? When that Greek woman came to Christ about the devil and her daughter, what did Christ say? He said it's not fit, meaning that it's not meat. It's not fit. It's not proper to give the children's bread to dogs. She was a heathen and he called her a dog. And what did she say? She said, Khan, sir. Yes, my Lord. Khan on the wand, sir. But even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table. And what did Christ say? He said, because of that saying, because you acknowledge that you're a dog, we don't respect white people. We don't respect Africans. We don't respect Chinese and more whites. We're at peace with y'all. We're at peace with all men until the peace is broken. You understand? We're not out here with vitriol. Whatever animosity that you think that we have is really just because we want justice. And that's the faith and the patience of the saints. Christ gave the example of the unjust judge and the woman going to this unjust judge to get vengeance, to have what was done to her, to have it be acknowledged and to be addressed and to get justice. And it says she kept coming to the unjust judge. He didn't fear man and he didn't fear God. He didn't care about her. He didn't care about man. He's a judge and he got power. He do what he want to do. But it says she kept coming to him every day, demanding justice, demanding vengeance, to be avenged for the wrong that was done against her. Right? And then Christ said, behold what the unjust judge says. This is what Christ is saying. If this unjust judge who don't care about God, don't care about man, right, gave this woman justice because she kept coming every day begging for it, praying for it, making supplications and a petition for it, how much more will your Father in heaven, who hears the cries of his people and their cries for justice, avenge his people speedily? He said, yet, but when the Son of Man comes on earth, will he find faith? So let me tell you something, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You praying and calling out to the Most High for justice against the so-called oppressor. And I don't just mean the Caucasian. He's the head. He's the chief of them all, right, of our oppressors. But all these other nations that oppress us, Christ is equaling that to your faith. How often you pray and ask for the Lord to bring justice and judgment and destruction to the heathens that have oppressed his people, man. Christ said, nevertheless, will he find faith when he comes to the earth? Well, he's going to find faith in the ISUPK because we're praying for that every Sabbath, every day. Let me read this real quick in Revelations, man. All right. This is Revelations chapter 1, verse 7. All right. Behold, this is talking about Christ when he returns. He comes with the clouds. He's coming with the chariots. What they're going to view as an alien invasion. You got white people who probably believe in white people, man, like their religion is based off of art. It's based off of the art of the Renaissance, Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci, and you know what I'm saying, and Raphael, Donatello, all right? He is based off of that. They see pictures of Christ in the clouds and think that's what that means, that he's going to become floating with clouds. No, the clouds are the vehicles of the angels, the chariots. Behold, he cometh with the clouds, and every eye shall see him. We know it's in this era, it's in this generation, with all the satellites in space and all the everybody has a cell phone, so whatever's going to go on the earth, everybody's going to see it. It's going to be in this time period, right? And they also which pierced him. Well, who pierced Christ? The Romans, the Italians, Caucasians. I'm saying Italians, but I'm saying white people. Germans, Italians, Russians, Belgians, Spaniards, white people. And those that pierced him. Christ is coming back with that on his mind. Christ is in the fourth dimension at the right hand of the Most High right now with pierced hands and that wound still in the side, even with a glorified body. And it said his eyes are red. Why? Because he didn't get vengeance for what happened. Christ ain't coming back with peace. He's coming back for war and to make war against the nations, the races, against Putin, against Zelensky, against Trump. That's why it says in Daniel, in the days of those kings, that the Lord will set up a kingdom that will consume and break up all other kingdoms. This person that's in the chat running his mouth, I guarantee you he voted for Trump, or he believes in the government of America or the governments of this earth. He's all wrapped up in politics. We're not, because why? We know who our king is. We want Christ's kingdom to come. That's what the Lord's Prayer is. It's a prayer for revolution. That's why it's blessed are the meek of the earth, that those on the bottom would switch positions and be at the top. That's who Christ is coming for, man. He's coming to create a revolution. That's why I said on his head was many crowns. Why? Because he's going to snatch the authority and the power and the rulership from all these governments, all the governments of our enemies, man. I know y'all like, Officer Tabazar, this is Sabbath service, man. Why are you so crunk? Because I'm finna go to camp. I'm gonna do what Commander General Yohana has instructed all of us to do, and as the prophets before us has done, to prophesy destruction, death, and pestilence, and judgment against many kingdoms, like the prophets before us have done. Don't ever let these heathens confuse you. They want to pull you into Christianity because they really want you to stay on the bottom, man. They don't want you to come back into your culture and to separate yourself and to be holy unto your power. Christ is not coming to build a kingdom. He's coming to rule over a kingdom that's been built. And where is that kingdom located at? It's within you. It's the kingdom of power, man. And what's the power, man? That whom the Son sets free is free indeed. And that's a political statement, man. But that when you're free from the lies of Christianity, the lies of Islam, the lies of Buddhism, Taoism, any other religion and fake God upon this planet, the lies of Americanism, the lies of democracy. When you pray for the kingdom of heaven, you're not praying for a democracy, for voting. You're praying for a totalitarian monarchy with Christ as the head of it, ruling over a body, a government, a body politic of the 144,000, man, of Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians ruling over the earth. And yes, every nation is going to be blessed because of Abraham, because Abraham had Isaac, who the Lord said, in whom thy seed shall be called. And Isaac had Jacob. And Esau, the white man, the Edomite, was eliminated. And the promise and the covenant went to Jacob. And Jacob had 12 sons. And those 12 sons became the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, man. And when we're in rulership, all the nations, all the heathens are going to be blessed. Why? Because after they serve out their judgment, they're going to be able to live in peace. They're not going to learn war anymore. The reason why all these nations fight each other is because the true king is not ruling on the earth. A black man named Christ from the tribe of Judah, man. You understand? Once Christ is in rulership and he has his government, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, 12,000, each from the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, once that government is established, then when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked are in rulership, the people mourn. And everybody's in mourning. Why? Because the man of sin, the so-called Caucasian, the white Christian, the Pope, Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, Xiao Jinping in China, Kim Jong-il, because they are trying to fight for power when power belongs to God. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out, man. You know what I'm saying? But, Salakia, Amijim, which means to stand. La Yashala. to salute the Torah. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Brakiyah. And Sar Wahakwadam, which means to turn and face the east. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malatwaka, Taba'a, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathanlanawa, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalatnawa, Kabawapnawa, Kasalatnawa, Kabawapyanawa, Wala'a, Tabayayanawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hiwashaiwana, Salaka Hiwashainawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalatwa, Waha Allah, Waha Thapara, La Iwalumium Amun, in the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. The prayer of the power of the Hakak. In the Hebrew, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashai, Babakosha, Nathanlanawa, Hakak, Lara Pa'ah, Call Makalah, Wakal Marawa, Hakak, Latahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, Lahakwiyam, Hamathium, Hakak, Arakawa, Hata Ma'alah, Lagar Shun, Ba'ashem Yahawashai, the Wada Amun. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahawashai, thank you, so be it. This is the prayer to bless Israel. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashai, Barak Nanawa, Wa Yasha'ala, Waha Bayaf Saparium, Barak, Ba'ashem Yahawashai, the Wada Amun. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashai, bless us and Israel and the school. In the name of Yahawashai, thank you, so be it. This is Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Aisha Ayanya, Ahaharium, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a Azariah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Al Yathan, Lamawat, Ragalka, Al Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tizalka, Al Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a Yakayaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Ra'a, Yashamar, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaafka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'ata, Wa'ad Awalam. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al Damayalaka, Al Thakarash, Wa Al Thashakwat, Al Kayahana, Awayabaka, Yahama Yawan, Wamash Shanayaka, Shawa'ara Ash Al Imaka, Ya'ara Yamwa, Sawad, Waya Ta'atazawa, Al Tazapawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakyadum, Magalia, Wala'a, Yazakar, Shum Yasha'ala, Iwad, Kaya, Nawa Atazawa, Lakabyawa, Alyaka, Baryath, Yarkathwa, Ahalia, Adawam, Wa Yashama'alyam, Mawa'aba, Wa Hagarium, Gabal, Wa Amawan, Wa Amalak, Palashath, Am Yashabia, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, La Benya, Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Lahum, Kamadian, Kasaya Sarah, Kayabian, Banakal, Kwayashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayan, Da'ira, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayathumwa, Na Dayamawa, Ka'arab, Wa Kazahaba, Wa Kazabak, Wa Ka Tazamanai, Call Nasakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Na Yarashai, Lanawa, Afnawa, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayathumwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, La Penya, Rawaka, Kaash, Taba'ara Ya'ira, Waka Lahaba, Thalahat Haryum, Kam Tharadatma, Basa Iraka, Wa Basawapapka, Tha Balaham, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Wayaba Kwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Waya Balwa, Ayai, Waya Kaparwa, Waya Abidwa, Waya Daiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shamka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Kaharataza. In the English, Psalms 83, keep not thy silence, O power, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is also joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as unto Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes as Zabah and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power in possession. O my power, make them like the wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burn up the wood, as the flame set up the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm, and fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. It's the prayer of the blessings for the power structure. Barakatha Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Wa Mayaka Allah, Wa Alahayim, Matazabaya, Alawap Yahana, Ha Alawapium, Ha Saranium, Ha Quatazayanium, Ha Kayoyum, Wa Ha Akwapian, Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, the Wada Aman. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. These are the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, the militia, the Ku Klux Klan, the Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitatus, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushai, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushai, thank you always. So be it. With that, I'm going to give a courtesy salute to the Akim, men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Brakatha, Yazamata, Sar, turn, face the sisters, men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Shemal Latham Ba Shem Yahweh Shai. Yazamata. Class dismissed. Lord allow, I'll see y'all next week, Israel. Shalom.
Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, a.k.a. Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.